I have my handy dandy recipe notebook, so you already know what time it is. Let's get cooking. Welcome to my channel. This is Minnie Moving Mountains. My name is Minnie, and this is my series called Mini Meals. Disclaimer, I am not a professional chef, nor am I a nutritionist. I'm just a girl in her muumuu who cooks every night for her husband so I can teach you how to cook, change up your meals for the week, or just give you something positive to watch. There is no fancy lighting. I just use a craft light. There's no fancy editing. I do this in one cut, and there's no fancy makeup. Just me showing you the things that I'm passionate about, which is cooking and baking, my weight loss journey, and crafting. Today is Saturday, May the 2nd, 2026, meal number 85. Today, we're making steak with Parmesan potatoes with a horseradish sauce. So when I cook, I am going to flip around the camera because I assure you, there is nothing fancy going on here. I just want to focus on what you came here for, which is to learn how to cook. So let's move mountains together and let's get cooking. Here are the ingredients for today's recipe. Remember, I just cook for my husband and I. So if you have a household that is bigger than ours, you would double, triple, or quadruple the recipe. For today's recipe, you're going to need bavette steaks, potatoes sliced into coins, cone cabbage sliced into strips, scallions cut thinly, chives finely chopped, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1/8 cup of balsamic vinegar, 1 tablespoon of horseradish and 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 1/8 cup of mayonnaise, 1/8 cup of garlic butter, and 1/8 cup of Parmesan cheese. To our stove top, you're going to preheat your oven to 450 degrees, and you're going to need a large burner on medium heat. To a large heat-proof pan, this is a Dutch oven, you're going to place your potatoes in a single layer in a ring. If you do not have a Dutch oven, it's perfectly fine. You also can just use a regular baking dish. It is okay if you have a little bit of an overlap. For your garlic butter, you're going to make sure it's in a microwave-safe dish and place into the microwave. And then you're going to melt the butter for 30 seconds. Drizzle your potatoes with a neutral oil. This is olive. The oil is for browning. The butter is for flavor. Season your potatoes with 1/4 teaspoon of salt, pepper, all-purpose seasoning, garlic powder, and paprika. Take the garlic butter and drizzle over the top of the potatoes and sprinkle with Parmesan cheese. Place potatoes in the oven at 450 degrees. My orange timer is for my oven. You're going to bake the potatoes for 20 minutes. To a medium pot, on medium heat, you're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. For your horseradish sauce, you're going to add your mayonnaise. Add horseradish sauce. I am going to use an offset spatula, so I'm going to do this off camera. Dijon mustard, 1/4 teaspoon of chives, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. Mix well and set aside until ready to serve. Once your butter has melted, you're going to add your cabbage, scallions, brown sugar, balsamic vinegar, 1/8 cup of water, 1/2 tablespoon of chives. Make sure to leave some for garnish, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper. Mix well. My white timer is for my stovetop. You're going to cook down the cabbage for 7 minutes. While your cabbage cooks, to a large pan on medium heat, you're going to heat up a neutral oil. This is olive. To prepare your steaks, you're going to make sure to pat them dry with a paper towel, and you're going to season them on both sides with 1/4 teaspoon of salt, pepper, all-purpose seasoning, garlic powder, and paprika. Flip and season the other sides. Once your pan is hot, you're going to add your steak. My blue timer is for my induction burner. You're going to cook the steaks on the first side for 5 minutes. Once cabbage is almost done cooking, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of garlic and mix well. Once steaks have cooked on the first side, you're going to flip them and you're going to cook for another 5 minutes. Once your steaks have cooked, it's important that you rest them on a cutting board for at least 3 minutes prior to slicing. I do use a wooden cutting board because it ensures that you don't conduct a lot of bacteria, and it conducts the heat better than a plastic one to make sure that your food stays warm. Give your cabbage one last stir. Dinner is ready, time to plate. And that's it. You did it. You made a home-cooked meal. Good job. I'm going to turn around the camera so we can chat. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today's episode. It's truly an honor and privilege to be able to cook with you guys. For this recipe, you can find it on my website, which is www.minniemeals.com. My long-form content can be found on my YouTube channel, which is Minnie Salvant, as well as my Facebook at Minnie Salvant. For short-form content such as TikTok, Lemonade, or Instagram, you can find me at Minnie Moving Mountains. Let's move mountains together, and what should I cook next? I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night. Bye.